Hi, my name is Judy, and I love making things. Today, I want to talk about. Okay, that was good, but we're going to do it again. Okay. Hi, my name is Judy, and today I am unveiling my handmade angel wings. We're going to do that one more time because maybe this is a phrase and maybe I can use this at the beginning of my videos. Okay, we're going to try again. Okay, I can do this. Hi, my name is Judy. I love making things, and today I'm unveiling my handmade angel wings. There's something so magical about artwork that you can wear. I just love it. I love clothes, and I love art, and it just makes sense when you put the two together. So I knew that I wanted my handmade wings to look ethereal and impactful. Growing up, I always loved birds. In fact, bird in Tagalog was my first word, and I even had a cockatiel named Tickles. He was actually the family pet, but he was definitely my inspiration behind this project. His wings and tail tapered together in the most gorgeous way. He was a cockatiel, not a cockatoo. So a cockatoo, the feathers are a little more blunt in how they end because they're a much bigger bird. But with a cockatiel, if you let their feathers grow, they have a really long, elegant tail, and their wings kind of cross and taper with it. You're meant to keep them clipped. But Tickles was pretty good about not flying around the house, so he didn't need them clipped that often. He was truly the most distinguished gentleman. He was just a beauty. And I knew that I wanted to recreate that in my design. I did some research on what others have created before me and realized I wanted the feathers to have that classic white and slightly translucent look that I saw many other people achieve on Etsy. I had to do some digging, but I found out that most people were using flooring foam underlayment. So, when you are installing a floor, I don't know if you've ever installed a floor, but I have installed at least one regular floor, but several temporary dance floors. And there's sometimes, certain flooring, you can get a roll of foam that goes underneath it. It's actually that same stuff. So that was great because it's super affordable, it's super easy to get, and it's also really lightweight. It is much more affordable than the EVA foam that most cosplayers use to make props, including wings, but also other things too. So it's really nice because it's affordable. What's also really nice is the lightness of the material allows the feathers to really float and move with you. So it feels like they're a part of you. Right on my video right now, these feathers are really short, so you can't see it as much, but the feathers down here are much longer. So when you move around, they actually move quite a bit. And it makes it seem like the wings are really a part of you and they're alive, which I love. So I am really happy with how this material ended up working out. I layered the feathers together the way I remember Tickle's wings were. Playing with how they all came together and formed a unified shape was by far the most fun and satisfying part, as you can imagine. It was almost like sculpting, but by the time you hit that stage in the creation process, you're really just using hot glue and attaching all of these pieces that you've cut much earlier. And so it's by far the most fun part. It was almost as fun as wearing them, although almost, because there is nothing as fun as wearing just ginormous, glamorous angel wings, really. And of course, I have to say, I did take some inspo from the Victoria's Secret angels, of course, because they are famous for their large, glamorous, and angelic wings. And at the time when I started this project, I was very much in need of a pick-me-up, so the fantasy was very welcome. I had gone to the hospital for an emergency and was at the tail end of recovery, so I was getting better. I was at that stage when you're no longer really in danger, but, and everything is resolved. I'm good now. But it was one of those things where you kind of you're recovered, but you're still tired, and some things are a little bit more difficult. And so it was just a fun way to sort of tie everything that I was going through together. So tie in workouts, very light workouts, literally just started with walking and nutrition. Kind of bring my nutrition back to what I wanted it to be because I, in recovery, had gained a lot of weight. So this project kind of tied together a lot of things for me, fitness, sort of this fantasy element of emotional recovery, almost I don't know, angels are just very comforting, and there's something very redemptive and beautiful about them. So that was super great. But there was also just these other elements, and I just kind of tied them all into the same project. And I did this with my sister. So 3.5 weeks, 2 sets of wings. It's October. You can totally make yourself a set of wings if you want them, but it will take commitment because it takes a long time to cut out all the feathers. As I said, I do love these wings. I plan to use them as much as possible in the next year. I also plan to make more, hopefully different styles. I want to make wings that open up and things like that. I also want to try different colors, see if I can get some of that EVA foam in the next few months/year. It usually takes me a while to get everything out, since I usually have multiple projects running at once. But if you do end up making a pair of wings for yourself, I mean, Halloween is a great time. Really, any time is a great time, but October 31st gives you plenty of time to make them. And I would love to see them. So if you wanted to like share them to me, I would totally love to see that. In case I haven't mentioned it, I am just going to say that for the functional design, I followed Yumifica's tutorial on YouTube called Making the Angel Wings Angel Emoji DIY. And hers, it's a very simple, easy to follow tutorial that's already on the internet. I did make some key changes, mostly in how I assembled the feathers onto the wings so that I created a specific shape, like the shape of Tickle's wings, which is like very kind of long and elegant. I basically gave each wing its own tail, which sounds kind of funny, but it turned out really pretty, I thought. It does make them a little heavier on the bottom, so that's just something to keep in mind. I also got really specific about the type of wire that I used, as well as the type of adhesives and glue that I used to put the base together. So you want that base to be really strong and well put together so that you can really play around with the shape of the feathers. Or you can just, use hot glue as much as you want on your design. It's your wings, so you can make them how you want in the time span that you have. I tried to make mine so that they will be durable and they will last, and I can use them for multiple projects. Hopefully I'll be walking in an event with them. I think that'd be super fun. And I got to do this project with my sister and with another photographer named Madeline, which was also really fun. And then I did more stuff on my own because I was having fun with it. So I was like, I already made these, like may as well make the most of them. And I also did a couple of improvements along the way. So I will do a tutorial of like how to make the wings, and I will use the best of what I did. So in the shorter tutorial, I'll make sure that I don't include things that didn't work as well for me, as I'll just highlight all of the things that were the best about the design. But I'll do another video just talking about like the process of making it, because I did the photo shoot with my sister and with Madeline and was not 100% happy with how the straps I created had worked. There was a really simple fix that if I had just done it that way from the beginning, they would have worked much better. But the fix was really simple and really easy. I literally just ordered bra straps off Amazon and ended up attaching those instead. But I would like to share how I did it, because it's a physical connection in the design that I think makes it a lot easier to wear. And then it also makes it adjustable. So if you wanted to wear your wings to a festival, you could take the straps and you could actually cross them in the front over your chest, and then you have like an even stronger connection. But yes, so that is what I wanted to share. It was really inspired by my pet growing up, my pet Tickles, because he was just the most beautiful little bird. He was a white cockatiel, and we got him when I was 9. I'll just tell you how we got him, because it was kind of a funny story. I was 9 years old. We went to PetSmart, and I asked my dad if we could have this bird, because I go up to this, it had like a glass panel, but I just go up to this like glass panel of birds, of cockatiels. They were all cockatiels, and there was just only one fully white cockatiel with like yellow head, and he's just like chirping and whistling and just like comes up to the glass, and he's just like really wanting to like have pets and like come out of the cage. And so I was like, Dad, we need to get him out of here. Like, we need to bring him home. He wants to be with us. And my dad thought he was being clever, and he didn't understand what type of bird Tickles was. And so he thought he would be clever, and he told me that if I could pick Tickles up, I could have him and take him home. And so I went to the lady working at PetSmart because you couldn't get into the cage. There was like a whole bunch of cages and they all had glass panels on the front. So you couldn't get into it without talking to a salesperson. So I asked a sales girl thinking probably she won't let me pick him up and then I won't get to have the bird and rats, just like I want this bird. So I talked to the sales lady and I am shocked because the sales lady's like, oh, you want to pick him up? She's like, sure, absolutely. And she just opens up this door and behind the door is the actual, just all of these cages, like how you get in and out of them. She just opens the cage. She reaches her hand in. He hops right onto her hand. And then she brings him out and she puts him on my finger and then he just goes, and he crawls up onto my shoulder and just starts like whistling and chirping. And he was just like the cutest thing ever. And that's how he got his name, Tickles. But my dad was not expecting that we were going to have to keep that bird after that. But he did try to back out of it because he told me that I had to finish a math workbook before we could actually bring him home. And I was like, you just went back on the deal, but I really want this bird. So I think I went home and it might've been the day of, I think I did the whole workbook because it was summer, by the way. So it was summer. So I was off school. And I think I did the whole workbook and then we went back and we brought Tickles home. And that was that. He became our family pet and cockatiels can live a long time if you take good care of them. So he lived well into his 20s. So yeah, that is the story of how we got Tickles. And thank you for watching my video. Please follow if you want to see the tutorial. I had a lot of fun making these wings, so I was excited to share them with you. And I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye.